Let me just share my theory with you and see what you think of it. Yeah. When I hear, I've engaged with several folks and some other apologists too, specifically about this idea of your racial identity. When it comes to Black Hebrew Israelism, the thing that broke my heart so much as I would talk to these folks and say, well, we're Hebrew. I mean, even some of them, I think this may be the more fringe edge, but they've got the list, right? If you were from this part of Africa, you're from the tribe of Dan. And if this part of South America, you're from the tribe of Levi or whatever. What broke my heart in that whole presentation was, well, wait a second. Who did God choose that you would be? God chose your African heritage. God chose the family you would be born into. He chose the time on the history line when you would be born. These are all God-ordained things. So why would you turn your back? And maybe you can explain some of the thinking that's going, but why would you turn your back on that beautiful African heritage and say, well, no, we're Hebrews? Ooh,
that's insightful. And I think you're right. I think there's this sort of coveting, if we're honest, there's this coveting of the sort of sweetness in which they hear the way Yahweh talks about the Hebrew people in the old covenant. And who wouldn't want those types of affections laid on themselves? The truth of the matter is, in Christ, you have those, yes, and some. But I think there's a sort of that sort of sin of coveting where you're just sort of gazing at another and you're just picking apart how better they have things than you, and you want to move into that by force.
Right.
And I think it's a lot of that going on there. And I think another component too is there's a desire to temporarily see the condition of the so-called Black man or brown man and woman improve. So there's a temporal focus that sort of blocks them from considering the rest of the conversation, the eternal component.